For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Camping and Leisure with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you guys a review on a product from Vango. So this here is the Vango Caravan Awning, the Kalari. So the Kalari comes in very different sizes. You have anything from a 380, 420, or like I've got here, this is the nice big 520, specially designed for the twin axles. So it's a model that's been running now for a few years, and with good reason why. There's a few big changes to the 2018 season, first of which being obviously the colour. It's actually designed, it's a bit more smarter in terms of the colour. I think actually works well to match the Caravan as well. One thing you had is sort of that darker grey. I think certainly when you get inside now, it feels a bit lighter, a bit more airier, and again it just kind of blends in well with what you get in the Caravan. One thing that certainly is good is the actual material they use on the Kalari. So you've got a 600 denier fabric, so it's a standard sort of a plus point, something like the Raleigh Air Pro 400 will use their Pro Fabric's 300 denier. So you're talking double the thickness of the Raleigh, and it's also double ripstock as well. So the joint is, if for God forbid you had like a little tear or anything, it's not going to suddenly carry on shooting along the seam or along the material. It will just isolate it at one little point. So actually again a really nice material when you use the double ripstock. What we've got here, also you can see it's the 520 plus the annex. Again, it's an inflatable annex, as well as obviously the whole awning is inflatable, so it's very quick and easy to put the whole thing up. You can check out our pitching and packing video on this very particular model. It took myself, I think on my own, about sort of 10-12 minutes to put the whole thing up, and then another about 5 minutes to take the whole thing down. So, it's a long way from your horrible full awnings and taking, 2 hours put up and you have a divorce halfway through. So I think it's one thing that, again, it just makes it very quick and easy to do. It's multiple point inflation, so each individual beam is pumped up on its own. This just means that if you had any problems, God forbid, that one internal bladder can be easily replaced with another. And again, the main beams all share the same bladder, so you can swap them as you need to or get a spare. And same with the sides, they use the same one as well. So it's very quick and simple to put up. You get a dual action hand pump supplied with it like so, and it's a little bit taller as well. So if need be, you can actually just pump it up, and say it doesn't take an awful lot of time to put one individual beam up as well. There is also an electric pump you can look down lines off. It's a 12 volt pump, which again all you do is put it in, plug it in, set the pressure, let it do its thing. It's a little bit slower admittedly, but then you can sit back, relax and watch the awning go up, so you've always got that plus point. One thing that certainly is good, again, is not only down to materials they use for the awning, but the windows as well. So you've got beautiful crystal clear windows, nice PVC. It just makes it look really smart. And one thing again that's nice as well is the fact that on the front here you've got storm straps all the way through. So every single point is got a nice storm strap, webbing strap, which can be quite simply buckled, disconnected, put back on and adjusted as so. One thing we'll go for when we're talking about inside as well is just generally the fact that with the awning, a lot of the optional extras are actually included, which is quite nice and refreshing. That's one thing that Vango always does well. You get one set of storm straps when you're on the 420 or the 380, and then you get 3 with the 520, and they just brace it across the side. You can buy an extra pair for about 10 quid, just to give you a bit more stability as you need to. But really, I think, as I said, the ones you get supplied normally do a job, but it's never harm's way to give yourself an extra bit more support. We'll talk a bit more about sort of the key features as we head inside and actually look at the interior and what's actually new there. But one thing that you do benefit again from the new 2018 thing is the style of it. So it's a bit more upright, so when you go inside you can see actually, even as the same floor span as last year, generally it feels more roomy just because it's a bit more sharper and rounded, which again is also going to kind of help with the drainage along the roof. But let's check out what's going on inside. So now we're inside the awning, you can kind of get a bit more of a better feel for the awning itself. And certainly one thing you notice straight away is a beautiful view you have on the campsite. Down to the fact that you've got a nice sort of power out front, so kind of like a bay window kind of style, and you've got good clarity through the windows, but you've also got the curtains as well. So that's a new sort of main tweak for the 2018 season, is the curtains have the ability to have sort of make it feel like a traditional caravan style inside, and also like a homey feel of curtains. So one thing that's always been good, certainly with the Kalaris in the past, mind the mustard, is that you can actually got a zip on each side of the curtain itself, so it will zip up like so. So if you wanted to have it sort of halfway and have a bit of privacy down below but still have light in, you can still do so. Obviously that twins up with these lovely big skylights you've got here to floodlight inside the awning without having compromising your privacy. But now you've got a zip running right down the middle, so you can create that sort of, like I said, caravan style of rolling these back, toggling it back to keep it at bay, and it just basically gives it more homely feel. And that's what you want when you're in the caravan. You're your home away from home, if you will. All it quite simply does, again, is just zip down to the bottom, and then you can roll it, and it stores itself in a pocket. And the joys of that means every time you put the awning up, you're not having to put the curtains on, put the curtains off, and faff around with that. So overall, it's going to save you a bit of time when you come in set up as well. The pre-angled part of the beams, like I said, has changed, so it's certainly a lot steeper at the front. So means being 6'2", I can happily stand directly underneath here. And the joys of that, even though it's the same depth and the same width as the 2017 model, the 2018 model just naturally seems to be bigger because of that pre-angled part. One thing, like I said, it comes in a 380, 420 and a 520 width, and that refers to obviously how long it's going to fit along the Caravan. The depth is always the same. Actually, it's 3 meters 20, which is actually wider than its comparison model in the camper range, which is the Ace Air 400 or 500 or 300, depending on the size you want to go for. So naturally, it does feel like there's more room in here because there is. That's one comment you do get when we have it up on our indoor showroom, that you say, actually, it feels bigger in here. Quite simply, the measurements do add up. A new feature that Vango have introduced into their Caravan Awning range, which has had in their tent range for a number of whiles, is the SkyTrack system. So the SkyTrack here is an extra sort of kind of cader, which similar to the cader you'd have through your awning rail. This is designed and stitched onto the actual inside of the beams, and it's on every single beam. So the purpose being, it means you can add extras, things like roof liners or skyliners as they call them, to help with condensation, also give you like a double glazing effect to kind of make it cooler inside the awning, and actually nicely hides the beams. You've got the ability to sort of pull it back as well, so if you want to have this exposed or covered up, you've got the versatility to do that. The other thing that certainly is mainly used for as well is hanging points and lanterns or storage units and things like that. So you can buy these little sky hooks separately, and they just quite simply feed on, like a cater system, feed on there, and then you've got a point you can quite literally just simply hang a lantern onto, or a pole, or hang your coat up for any reason, and just put it up or so. And you can buy these in packs of 10, so quite inexpensive, but it's a nice little thing you can actually have. Like I said, the system on top uses exactly the same principle with these extra storage hangings, so you can have your morning's paper quite happily kept up inside of there, or keys, phones, and just extra bits to declutter the awning itself. The beams actually are Vango supersized beams, so it's actually it's a bigger size beam than their standard awning. So if you look at their Braemar or their Vicala, there's a nice thicker beam, so it's going to be stronger in the winds. Again, just gives you more more support against those higher conditions. One thing that's probably worth talking about now is the amount of extras you get with the actual awning. So one thing Vango have been very good at doing is chucking a lot of stuff in free, which you normally would pay for. First things being obviously the straps. You get 2 storm straps included with the awning, which you would expect. You can buy an extra 2 if you wanted to. But you also get things like rear back poles. So this is basically a pole which pushes the foam pad at the back here tight against the Caravan to try and minimise the draft coming down the outside. And that's, again, are included, and there's a little slot in there it just quite simply sits into. The other thing that's included as well is the draft skirt. So the draft skirt runs the whole length of the awning, depending on which size you go for, and fits into the rail along the bottom. And the joys actually velcros across. So it velcros onto the awning to really try and minimise that draft and keep it more bespoke and make it better. In the actual awning itself, in the draft skirt, you've actually got a ventilation panel which you can sort of toggle up and toggle down. And because you've got 2 zips, you can actually use it for storage underneath there and still access it as you need to. Rear arch covers are included yet again with the awning, which is a brilliant thing because it's not another thing you have to shell out for. So you've got all these little things adding up, and you're talking like 20 or 30 pounds to the poles, draft skirt, you're talking maybe about 100 pounds there or thereabouts of extra stuff included with the actual item itself. The only thing to really consider is something like the carpet. So carpet is a breathable carpet, is a sort of cushioned one as well, so it's quite nice under the foot, and it's basically pre-made for each awning. So there's a 380, a 420 and a 520 version. Your annexes on the side, which you can add on as an extra, and yet again it just zips onto the panel which you have on the side as well. And you've got a door in the annex specifically to be there, so you can hide the annex if you don't want to see it, like so. So it just sort of keeps it nice and tight at bay, so you don't have to worry about seeing your kids' stuff all the time, the grandkids' stuff all the time. So it's quite a nice thing as well. And it's a 2-berth bedroom, you get supplied with it as well. So the joys, this means that it just keeps it, you can chuck a double air bed in there, sleep them out there, and because it can take an annex either side, you can have 4 grandkids or 4 kids sleeping in the awning you know, not in the caravan bothering you at night. And you just toggle it back like so. And to be fair, the annex is quite a decent sort of size. Like I said, 2-berth. You can happily get an airbed in here, sit in here, and you've still got another door on the axe door with a ventilation panel at the front. So you've still got things like extra little pockets in here to put your phones and kids and toys and stuff in there. So that's quite nice as well. The only thing you can look at is there's a footprint you can put underneath that if you want to buy. It's like a ground sheet. And then the other thing as well, if you don't want to use the annex, you can have a mesh panel which goes in the side door to help with circulation. So certainly if you're in sort of, you know, France or Spain or something like that, and you want circulation at night time, we'll not have to worry about you know, sort of bugs and critters coming in. That's where it's really a good idea to have the mesh panels in place, and they are very good value actually. Overall, really nice impressive model, certainly one we have certainly at Vango up in our own display at Attwoolls in Gloucestershire, so it's definitely worth taking a trip out to see it. And certainly you can never really grasp the awning itself without actually seeing how it goes up, but you can do that with our pitching and packing video. But a really positive model, and said the main tweaks with the colour change matching the caravan, the, you know, beams changing position, the extra, you know, window panels, the way they work, the ability to obviously zip out all the panels and take the weight out of the canvas when you want to feed it through. It's just got so many plus points to it, and I can see why it's been Vango's best-selling awning for a number of years now, and they've only gone and made it even better. So really good model. Like I say, one you can certainly look at with us, and we also do interest-free finance on our website, so you can check that out. But really impressive model from the Kalari. So Kalari 380, 420, 520 seems like a bit of a winner.